This is the Stradivari cello, one of the world's most valuable and inspiring string instruments, recorded on location at the auditorium of Museo del Violino. Originally part of the Cremona Quartet, this cello is now available on its own, separately from the quartet, with the same upgrade path as is available for the Stradivari violin. This Cremonese masterpiece was created in around 1700 by the legendary Italian luthier Antonio Stradivari, and is notable for its much smaller size than the craftsman's previous cellos. It is regarded as one of the greatest Italian treasures, still in exquisite playable condition. Stradivari cello runs within Contact Player with full NKS compatibility and is as expressive and detailed as its siblings. 3 microphone positions, multiple legato types, phase-aligned stereo samples, fingerboard position panel for timbre control, performance-captured vibrato, and extensive chromatic sampling of 20 different articulations, now available within 32 new articulation slots. To demonstrate the cello in context, here's a short piece by composer Przemyslaw Kopczyk, using multiple cello parts with a piano accompaniment. As you can hear, this piece explores a wide range of dynamics and playing styles, so I'll be referring to it throughout the video, as well as playing the cello as a solo instrument to demonstrate specific features. So let's get started. This is the main interface of the Stradivari cello, with most of the important settings in the lower half. On the left-hand side are performance controls for dynamics and vibrato. On the right is the position control for choosing where any given note is played on the fingerboard of the cello, resulting in a change of timbre. These central buttons provide customizable key switches for choosing any of the 20 different articulations. New to the latest version of Stradivari cello, you can use these 4 buttons along the bottom of the interface to switch articulation slot pages, so that you can now assign up to 32 different articulations to the key switches. Just click into a slot and these 3 dots, choose an articulation and assign it to your chosen key switch here. There's a full range of different articulation styles, including 5 different types of short articulations. You can hear spiccato, saltile single, pizzicato, and spiccatissimo throughout the 4 accompaniment cello tracks in our demo piece. There are 4 expressive options, complete with speed and tempo syncing controls. A quick note on the trills: half and whole step options are controlled by velocity, and a toggle for portamento or rebow transitions. Three dynamic performances with speed adjustment controls. And 4 special techniques. The 3 different types of long articulation can be selected here: sustain, marcato and détaché. A quick mention for the modelled consordino option just here, which enables muted playing, a completely different timbre. The long articulations have 4 different types of legato transition, which can be selected here: fingered legato, bowed legato, short transitions which are useful for runs, and longer portamento transitions. The main melody line of our demo piece assigns these different types of legato transitions to multiple key switches and alternates between them for really expressive playing. For live sketching and minimal key switching, use the adaptive Virtuoso setting. This option intelligently combines multiple articulations and legato types, controlled by velocity and the pitch bend wheel. Play with high velocity for marcato and low velocity for a regular sustain. Velocity also controls the legato style, with adjustable settings and velocity response to switch between portamento or fingered and bowed legato. Combining these playing styles with the pitch bend wheel, up for spiccatissimo and down for staccato, gives you lots of control over your performance without needing to touch the key switches. Click here to open the mixer window. The cello was recorded using 32 separate microphones, and the only difference between the 2 included patches is that each has a different mixdown of the mics, one with a bespoke stereo mix, and another with individual mic level sliders for close, mid, and far signals. Also, don't forget there are snapshots available for quick access to typical orchestral seating positions and useful articulation mappings. Careful setting of the 3 mic positions can give everything from an intimate chamber sound to a spacious concert hall. This fader dials in room noise to provide additional realism and glue the performance together. And of course, feel free to add your own room or hall reverbs to place the cello in specific spaces. In our demo piece, you'll see the melody patch set to mainly close mics, with a medium setting for mid mics and a little far blended in for some subtle space. Click here to open the fingerboard options. Because this cello has been captured chromatically with no repitched samples, the resulting fingering is as close to real life as possible, essential for a realistic performance. By default, the fingerboard setting is smart, which intelligently reproduces the finger and string selection of the performer. For example, this motif moves around different strings in the same area of the fingerboard, where the player would use fingering on different strings. Whereas this run of chromatic notes in real life would be performed on just one string, moving up and down the fingerboard. In this case, see how the engine chooses the same string. If you're looking for a particular sound, you can force the engine to favour that kind of fingering with this toggle switch to high string and low string modes. It's also possible to force open strings by using this user-configurable key switch. Back to our demo piece, and I'll play another section of the melody line. Clicking here opens the performance panel for precise control over dynamics and vibrato. Keep your eye on the levels as the piece plays, as they're assigned to this MIDI expression programming in Cubase. As you can see, there's liberal use of the expression and dynamics controls, and the vibrato rate and intensity are changing all the time. This type of programming is essential for realistic cello parts. First, dynamics. With Stradivari Cello, all of the sustain samples of the various dynamic layers have been phase aligned in post-production. This ensures a buttery smooth crossfade between them. A quick mention for this control, which assigns the short note dynamics either to keyboard velocity or MIDI controller. Let's talk about the cello vibrato, which has been implemented here in the same way as the other instruments of the Cremona quartet. Traditionally, sampled instruments have achieved a semblance of vibrato performance in two ways, and they both have problems. If you record the vibrato within the sample, then there's no control over the playback speed and intensity. Whereas if you use an LFO to automate pitch and volume of a straight sustain, then that sounds artificial and lacks genuine emotion. With this cello, you get full and realistic control over the instrument's vibrato performance. The characteristics of real-life vibrato fingering have been captured with all the musicality and human nuances. Then these attributes are reapplied to non-vibrato samples, resulting in a full range of expressive vibrato options with lots of control over the playback. Within the interface, you can adjust the rate and depth of vibrato, and there's a range of authentic vibrato presets too. Of course, these parameters are already mapped to NKS controls, and can also be assigned to any external controller with a right click. I hope you've enjoyed this brief look at Stradivari Cello. For more information about this unique cello instrument, head to the product page. And thanks for watching.